So our next topic, and we're going to offer this video as a whole and then also as segments so people can take these chunks in. I'm going to move us on now to what can I sell? Effective menu planning. Tim, I'm going to have you kick this one off. And the challenge is when people look at, I've seen menus that are, 50 items deep and, the appetizer page alone is 30 things. What are some considerations that people have to make, these operations have to make as they're considering what's going to be an effective takeout item? And I know we touched on the idea of going to your strengths, but what does that look like if we dive a little bit deeper?
Is it something that you can produce and then it'll hold up well when you get it home? That's one of the big things. I think that it's also important to know that there are certain things that you just probably don't want to serve in a to-go situation. I mean, if you're an oyster bar, it's kind of hard to serve raw oysters and pack them to travel. Or raw seafood for that point as well. Not all. I mean, there are some great sushi restaurants that really know what they're doing. Their packaging is down and locked in. So the stuff like that is fine. But if they're items that you're not accustomed to serving as a takeout, then I would probably second guess those and, stick to that which you are comfortable with and that are going to be home runs every time they get home and open up those packages and dig in. That's.
The other thing is on that, and those are really great points. And I would recommend that is to take and cook your food, put it in your packaging, wait about 30 minutes, and then actually try it.
Yeah.
Really important that you get different packages because not every package is going to act the same. You could put it in a foam container, wait 30 minutes, and you're going to get a certain quality food. You could put it in a different type of container that seals better and has venting and wait 30 minutes, and it's a completely different product. So I think it's really important for you as the operator to understand what your food's like when it gets to your customer. And so I really highly recommend you trying different containers out and see which one works best with the food that you're trying to serve so that you make sure that you're getting the best quality product. But you, as the operator, need to know that. You really need to understand what that's going to look like when it gets to your customers.
Yeah, so, it's typical menu development. You come up with menu ideas and you put it forth and then you try it. So same holds true here.
I know we kind of touched on this earlier, but this might be, again, an opportunity for some non-traditional approach to what is being offered. And just because you've got your full menu doesn't necessarily mean that that's what your takeout scenario needs to look like. For example, let's say you've got a kid's menu and on it's spaghetti and you've got a pantry full of spaghetti. You could do family meal kits where you're sending the cooked pasta, the sauce separately, garlic bread, and, a takeout container of Parmesan cheese so that families can do, spaghetti dinner night. It's great to go to your strengths. And if you're known for your chicken wings, you double down on your chicken wing delivery. But at the same time, if you have the capability to build meals that are going to feed families and feed individuals, that is something that it's okay to look at as well. This is, to overuse the term, we're in a non-traditional space where we need to get creative. And I think it's okay to maybe think outside the box on that.
And don't forget the dessert, by the way. Right now at this time, people are stocking up with different types of food. I don't know how much chocolate they're stocking up on right now, so, and it's an extra treat. And if you can offer your signature dessert out and a takeout and make sure, or you might want to sell a whole cake that you make, and sell the cakes themselves. But I think it's really important to offer that extra goodie for them because the treats really matter right now. It's how, we maintain, and somebody else used this point, some normalcy. And if you can get a nice dessert and enjoy it, it's a little extra pleasure right now where things aren't necessarily so pleasurable.
And to circle back around to, I think it was Brody's point on the normalcy, which I think is a great point, but it holds true to, yes, chocolate as well, one of my favorites. I have a hard time without it, and I haven't stockpiled. You made me think about it now. I'm going to run to the grocery store. I'm going to run past the toilet paper and go right to the chocolate. But anyways, all joking aside, I think comfort food could be really big as well. I mean, it's called comfort food for a reason. It makes you feel at comfort. It's reminiscent of, something that you might have grown up eating, whether it be a shepherd's pie, American chop suey, mac and cheese, things like that. That's not to say that depending on your platform, you can't be creative with those things. I mean, there are a million different ways to make a mac and cheese. Same thing with an American chop suey or a shepherd's pie, and the list goes on. I'm just targeting those three things, but comfort food, I think, is a great idea.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to package it in like half-size aluminum containers with a foil lid as a larger option, because now you've got families in the house. You've got more than one person usually, and so there is an opportunity, and I think there'll be a need for people to buy not just single meals for each person, but maybe a half pan of lasagna or a half pan of something else that you can offer them.
Mm-hmm.
Brody, I want to toss a question out to you. What are your thoughts on offering additional stuff outside of just the food, if an operation is capable of doing that? I don't know what comes to mind, but additional napkins and wet naps. I know in some cities and states you can actually deliver alcoholic beverages. So is this an opportunity maybe for operators to look outside that scenario too?
I think, to the point earlier, be as creative as you possibly can. If you're allowed to sell them a pre-made gin and tonic with their pizza or whatever you're selling them, go for it, because it's all bets are off right now. If you are open, you have to find a way to stay busy and bring some money in. And so whatever you can do, as far as the extras go, and be profitable, then I think that's what you have to look at. Those are the avenues. I mean, maybe it's, they start buying 2 liters and sell 2 liters worth of that stuff than they've ever done before. I like the idea that, I'd pick up a 6-pack with a pizza if they'll deliver it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as you're allowed to do it. And so I think it's just, for each operator, they got to look so closely at their situation, what they can execute properly, and make it taste good. And then how do they think outside and offer something that hasn't been offered before? And that's going to be the hard part, because we all get so set in our ways. This is how we've done it. We've always done it this way. Well, now we've never come across something like this. And so the ability to think about something different and bring value to your customers, that's what you have to do. And if that's throwing in, for an extra $1, you get 10 wet naps, you know what? All of a sudden they're going to have clean doorknobs in their house. They've got kids running all over the place because they can't go to school. I mean, little things like that, absolutely. And maybe those will turn out to be big things too, but also be things that people don't forget. And so that's valuable. That's valuable. But it's going to be a constant reevaluation, what's working and what's not, because this is all uncharted territory.
That's a great point. 10 extra wet naps could go a long way. And if that's something that the operation feels that they need to sell to maintain, their margins, that's one thing. If it's something that they can give away, you're almost guaranteeing a return customer, when the situation has subsided. And my last point on this, and it's not really a what can you sell, but it's a don't forget to include, for any operations that aren't traditionally doing delivery and takeout, or don't have them printed, include your takeout menu. If it's the temporary takeout menu and you can print that and include it, maybe staple that to your traditional takeout menu, and maybe have a date for whatever period of time you plan on running this temporary takeout menu. But the more information you can give them about your business, your food now, the more likely they are to come back to you later. Anybody have any other thoughts on this topic before I move us on?
You may want to even add something like a roll of toilet paper. and offer that for sale as well.
I have seen that. I've seen that thrown out there before. It was a donut shop. Buy a baker's dozen of
Yeah.
donuts and get a roll of toilet paper.
Sure.
Not a bad idea. They're
Just
gonna
make sure it doesn't correlate with the meal you're selling them.
That's right. Yeah.
Excellent.